Hello! Today is a cirrhosis video. And today I'll do a recap on where I left y'all off, what's happened since then. But we're talking about our MELD score. So, a recap on me. Okay, the last video, my husband was going to have a couple surgeries. My daughter just found out that her liver readings, AST and ALT, were high. And me, I was getting ready to go get a scope done to check for varices. So my daughter's fine. We got her to a doctor, and she has fatty liver. It has not advanced to cirrhosis. And when we had her there, and he was telling her that they're going to do this and blood work and this, and she kept looking at me. And I was like, yep, you need that. Yep, you need that. And he said, fibroscan. And she looked at me and she goes, what's that? And I told her, I said, it's an ultrasound, but every now and then you'll feel a thump because they tap it. And they do it about 10, 12 times and then average it out. And he asked me if I was a nurse or something. He said, because I know what I'm talking about. And I said, no, I have cirrhosis. He said, well, you sound like a doctor or a nurse or something. I said, no, I don't, because I don't use the big words. He laughed. But she got her fibroscan. And the lady told me, said, well, you can sit over there. I said, well, I kind of wanted to see the screen. She goes, okay, you can look, but you're not going to understand the numbers. I kind of laughed, said, okay. And I'm not exactly sure what the numbers were. I know the one that measures the fat, it was like 380 some one time, 370 some next time, because like I said, they take so many and then average it out. And the one that checks the stiffness was like 6 or something. I don't 6 point something. Bounced back and forth. 7 maybe. And I was like, okay, that one's high. We got to get that one worked out, the one that checks the fat. I said, this one, it's fine. And the lady asked me how I understood the numbers. I said, because I have cirrhosis. And she said, I've been doing this for a couple of years and I never knew what the numbers meant. So I told her. And she goes, so I got to tell the doctor that I did this test on her, but I also got educated. We all kind of laughed, but she's fine. She's got fatty liver. We're going to work on getting that fat down, but she eats a lot of fast food. She works in a kitchen where she cooks burgers and pizzas, and so we got to work on that. But she goes back here in a week or so for her results, even though I've already told them to her. My husband had 3 surgeries. He's fine. He said the sinus surgery was the worst because of the packing up in it. It was like, it's not really packing. It was these plastic things that kept his nose open. And they were in for about a week. He hated it. So, me, I had the scope done. I had like 4 varices, but they were all like clustered together, and they were so clustered he could only band 3 of them, and the 4th one he left was the smallest, so it was okay. I should have already went back in October, but I don't know what happened. I've changed my number. I called and gave them the new number. I don't know what's going on. I need to call them tomorrow and schedule it. Because I would hate for a varices to bust. I would hate that. Anything else? I had my blood work done. I had my ultrasound done. It was all fine. So that's it. So today we are talking MELD score. MELD, M-E-L-D, is short for model for end-stage liver disease. And I see in my chat, under my videos, or messages that I get, or people coming into cirrhosis groups on Facebook. And like, one of the first things they're worried about when they get diagnosed is their MELD score. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I worried about it too. But, get your lab works calculated a couple times yourself. But that's one thing that I don't think you should worry about. Let your doctor worry about that. There are certain things that you have to do, and there are certain things that your doctor does. And if you got a good doctor, I guarantee it, when you get your lab work done, he is figuring out your MELD score. You need to concentrate on you and feeling better. If yours is from drinking, stop drinking. Hepatitis C, get your medicine. Whatever the cause is. Fatty liver. All of them, no matter what you're diagnosed from, you need a healthy diet. And you need to exercise. And you need a positive state of mind. No matter why you got cirrhosis. The reason. And it doesn't matter the reason you got cirrhosis. It's cirrhosis is cirrhosis. We're all in the same position. So your MELD score, when they figure it up, and they take a percentage, a mortality percentage, which I just think is morbid, on the percentage of you living for the next 3 months. They do it in a 3-month, I don't know why, but that's how they do it. And let's say your MELD score is less than 9, you got a 1.9% of mortality, 1.9% of death. If it's 10 to 19, you got a 6% of mortality. If your levels are 20 to 29, you got a 19.6% of mortality. 30 to 39, you got a 52.6% chance of mortality. If it's 40 or greater, you got a 71.3% of mortality. And the range for your MELD score is 6 to 40. And when it gets to 15, but then again, every hospital, state, whatever, they all have different MELD scores that they refer for transplant. But the general consistency is 15 or greater. But, and you're on this list, but there's the sicker you are, the closer you are to the top of the list. But we're not going to discuss transplant today. We're discussing MELD score. Your MELD score, most of them factor in 4 things. 5 if you want to count. They have a question on there on if you've taken dialysis. But as far as blood work, they count your INR, which is a clotting factor, your bilirubin, and creatine, and sodium. Mayo Clinic doesn't count sodium. So they just count the INR, bilirubin, and creatine. I will show you how to figure up these scores. MELD Score calculator. And 12 years or older. And see dialysis at least twice in the past week. We click no. Here they have the normal levels. Like the creatinine is 0.7 to 1.3 is normal. And mine is the 0.7. So 0.7. Bilirubin. Normal is 0.3 to 1.9. Mine is the 1.8. The INR, 0.8 to 1.2 is normal. Mine is 1.3, just a little high. Sodium, like your Mayo Clinic one, does not count your sodium. And mine is 138.0. Oh, I did not go into the right one. 138. My sodium is on the high side of normal, and I don't get that because I eat everything no salt or low salt, low. So my MELD score is 12. So that's good. And see here it says 6% estimated 3-month mortality. So I have a 6% chance of cirrhosis killing me in the next 3 months. Okay, let's go to the Mayo Clinic one. And the Mayo Clinic one is the one I use. Because I will show, well, let's put Mayo up there. See, they asked for your INR. Mine was 1.3. They asked for your bilirubin. It was 1.8. And this one was 0.7. Calculate. And my MELD score is 12. So it's the same. And your MELD score can fluctuate depending on where your blood levels are. Because okay, this is not for everybody. This statement is not for everybody. Just because you have cirrhosis and it's scar tissue buildup in, there is still things that you can do to try to help. Some people, they can't. Some people, their liver's just shot. And like, let's turn this off. Like a healthy diet, eating as fresh as you can. And I'm still learning all this, you know. I'm still, like, I don't eat any canned foods. Every now and then I'd break down and have some, like if we were having tacos or bean, I'd have some refried beans. Never regular, I'd have the vegetarian ones because I'm vegetarian. I really don't like canned food. I don't know what's mixed up in all that stuff. I'm so OCD about food. So I started making my own refried beans. I don't make them with lard because I'm vegetarian. Make them with extra virgin olive oil. Cut up some peppers in there too. And I make my beans from scratch, from a bag, and boil them myself and do it all fresh. And don't add any salt. Okay, I will say they do not have as much flavor because they're not cooked in butter or lard or whatever. But they're still good. And I know they're healthier for me. And not all doctors, but a lot of doctors say you need more protein with cirrhosis. And beans are a protein. And with me being a vegetarian, I need that. I am starting to make my own peanut butter. Cashew butter. Next, I'm going to try pistachio butter. That just sounds really good. But I know can't eat too much of that because it's good fat, but there's still, you can get too much. You know, I'm still learning. but eating as fresh as you can and not eating out at restaurants is a big start, a big bonus. But it really helps me that I was already vegetarian and I was already OCD about food. So I know it really helps me, and I know it's easier for me to do it than it is for others. I get that. But one thing you don't need to do is being worried about your MELD score. Because when you get cirrhosis, there's certain things you need to do, and there's certain things your doctor needs to do. And keeping track of your MELD score is something your doctor needs to do. And if you don't think he's doing it, or if you want to make sure he's doing it, ask him. Ask him if when he gets the results of your blood work, if he figures up your MELD score. I mean, heck, a lot of them's been doing it for so long, they can probably figure it up in their mind. There's just, I don't know, you don't need to stress yourself over it. Stress yourself out over it. I feel bad when people first come in there, comments under my video or messages or Facebook, talking about their MELD score. Or one of the first questions they have is, am I dying? And I'm so sorry to anybody out there that feels that way when they're first diagnosed, because that's how I was treated in the ER and at my first doctor. It just felt like they were sending me home to die, and that's not the case. And a lot of these doctors need to do better on learning to talk to patients about hope. I mean, if you have no hope, then you are going to die. And stressing out about all this and trying to keep track of your MELD score and Googling, using Dr. Google, which I do not like Dr. Google. If you're spending your life like you're dying, then you're dying. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, because the stress is not going to do you any good. There is hope. And the people newly diagnosed, I just wish I could tell them all. No. I wish I could tell the doctors to do better. I have wonderful doctors now. And I really wish everybody had that. Because I have a great team, and because I know my doctor's doing what he needs to do. Like last time he got my blood work, he sent me an email, said, hey, I got the results of your blood work, they're looking good. And they are. My bilirubin had went down, yay. My platelets are the lowest they've ever been. But, you know, it's just all part of it. We're not going to stress. I know my doctor's doing his part. I trust him to do his part. But then again, he knows I'm doing my part. And he trusts me to do my part. But I will tell you this. If I were to email him and said, hey, I need, I don't know, blood work done, he would be on it, because he knows if I email him, something's wrong. I just wish everybody had what I had in doctors. And I just wish some doctors understood cirrhosis a little better. Like the ER doctor that first told me I had cirrhosis after he did ordered a CAT scan because I was sick. I was really sick. And he did a CAT scan, walks in the room, says, well, you got cirrhosis. Gave me all these prescriptions for all this medicine. And my husband looked at him and said, but she doesn't even drink. He goes, yeah, okay. Turns around, walks out of the room. Didn't explain to us that you don't have to be a drinker to get cirrhosis. We didn't know. He sat there looking at me like we were lying. And just walks out of the room. The first doctor I had said, well, we'll just let your liver go and see what happens. No, you won't. So my primary care got me in touch with my doctor now. And I am so thankful. There is hope. And just don't stress about your MELD score. Let your doctor do that part. And if you have any questions, I will have my email, my Facebook linked down below this video. Or you can even write it in the comments and I'll answer it. I answer all my comments. I do need to say this though. If you comment on one of my videos telling me, well, you need to watch Dr. So-and-so on YouTube, or your comment will get deleted. Because I have doctors, and some of the doctors are referring to, one of them isn't a real doctor. The other one is a chiropractor pretending to be a doctor. And he gets information wrong in his videos. So I don't want them promoted on my channels. Or on my videos. And it's nothing against you, but if you post their name in the comment, it will get deleted. And me, I'm not trying to say I'm a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm a patient. I live with cirrhosis. So when you get stuff from me, it's my experience. And how I've explained the MELD score, it's really how it is figured up and what it means and everything. But the how I said don't stress about it, don't worry about it, because that's my point of view. We've already got so much that we're dealing with. We need one less thing to deal with. And your doctor deals with that. That's his job. That's my point of view on it. So, again, any questions, get a hold of me. And I really do appreciate you watching. Have a great day. And I will do better about these videos. I promise. Bye.